way of life. Greetings to all. I am Brahmansh, Kaushik, the speaker for today, and the topic that we are going to discuss is how to build a career in the Indian Army. The basic aim of this video is to acquaint you with the career prospects in the Indian Army. Some of the most important attributes of a job when you're serving in the Indian Army are job satisfaction, job quality or job security, quality of life, economic stability, social status, and there is variety and adventure, sports and thrill is a part and parcel of the life in Indian Army. That being said, let us look at some of the doubts and clear them. What do you mean by a direct entry? Any person who gives a CDSE examination after his graduation or in his final year of graduation, he will go to IMA or OTA and he will be known as a direct entry. Now IMA stands for Indian Military Academy, which is located in Dehradun, UK, Uttarakhand. Then we come to OTA, that is Officers Training Academy, which is located in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. What is a permanent commission? Any person who goes to IMA will pass out of the academy as a permanent commission, which basically means actual age of retirement. Now, in short service commission, after you complete your training in OTA, you will have a short service commission of 5 years. After 5 years, you will be given an option by the Indian Army whether you want to extend your tenure in the Indian Army by another 5 years or whether you want to convert your commissioning into a permanent commission, or you can also leave it at that time. That being said and done, let us look at the duration in the academies. In IMA, the duration of training is 1.5 years by CDSE, and for NDA cadets who come from NDA after 3 years of service is only for 1 year. At OTA, the training period is 49 weeks, which is 11 months and 1 week. That being said and done, the doubts being cleared, let us now come to how to join the Indian Army. Now, in practicality, these steps are basically broken down into 2 steps. The first one is the written examination and the second one is the SSB interview. Just for the sake of simplicity, I have broken down the steps into 3 points. The first one is written examination, then we come to the exam pattern, and then we come to the SSB interview. Coming to the written exam, now the written exam is conducted by a central government body known as UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission. Under that, the first exam which is conducted is NDA-NA examination, which is National Defence Academy and Naval Academy examination, which is conducted twice a year. And as we are only focusing on the Indian Army prospect, so we look at IMA. After 3 years of training under NDA, all the Army cadets inside the NDA after 3 years of training will go to IMA for 1 year of training. Now, this exam, the age limit or the age range is from 16.5 to 19.5. That being said and done, let us now come to CDSE. Now, CDSE is basically Combined Defence Services Examination, which is also conducted twice a year. And this exam is for basically those students who are in their final year of graduation or they have already completed their graduation. The age range in this exam is from 19 to 24 years. Now, this exam is for IMA or OTA or even for Indian Air Force Academy or Naval Academy, but we are only focusing on Indian Army, so IMA and OTA. After this, we have a 10+2 TES entry scheme. Now, TES entry is basically a technical entry scheme under which in your 12th class, if you have science background and you have physics, chemistry, maths and your marks are 70% or equivalent in the boards, then you get this option of going for this entry. Under the written exam for this entry is conducted twice a year, and after the exam you clear your SSB interview, and after your SSB interview you get your medical done and you join the academy at OTA Gaya. The duration of training under OTA Gaya is for 1 year, and after you complete your 1 year of training under OTA Gaya, you will go for CTW training for 4 years, where you get a degree from Jawaharlal Nehru University of a Bachelor's of Technology. Same way as you get a degree from JNU in here, you also get a degree at NDA, either of a BSc degree or a BA degree. You don't get a BCom degree, but commerce students can also go to NDA. After this, although it is now at OTA Gaya, it may change to IMA from the next course or the next batch of TS entry. After this, we have a NCC Special Entry Scheme. Now, under NCC Special Entry Scheme, there is no requirement of giving any written examination. You can directly go for the SSB after filling an online form, and you get a call letter for SSB. You go for SSB, you get recommended, you get your medical done. After your medical, you get a merit list. Your name is there. You go to OTA Chennai for directly training. That is for 49 weeks. After this, and the notification for NCC Special Entry comes in December, January or June, July. After this, we have women special entry schemes. Now, these are the various entry schemes for women, and also some of them also have the entries for male or candidates also. So the first one, we have JAG entry, that is Judicial Advocate General entry. Now, under this, the requirements and the age limit is from 21 to 27. Now, after you complete your LLB degree, you can apply for this branch and you will be wearing the OG, that is the olive green uniform, and serving in the Indian Army under the JAG branch as an army officer. That being said and done, let us come to the next entry, which is SSC Tech entry. Now, this SSC Tech entry is the same as TS entry for women. This is for boys and this is for women. And they also go to OTA Chennai for their training. After that, we have a TGC EDN entry, which requires a degree of Masters in Arts or Masters in Science. This is basically for the Army Education Corps in the Indian Army. So basically, this teaching staff of officers in the Indian Army, who go as an instructor in the various academies, or even for the various courses which are conducted in the Indian Army all over the world, they come from this entry. After that, we have a Tech AMC entry. Now, AMC stands for Army Medical Corps. Under this, we have to complete a Tech AMC entry. Now, AMC stands for Army Medical Corps. Under this, we have to complete a MBBS degree. After you do your MBBS, you can go to OTS, that is Officers Training School, AMC Center and School, which is located in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. And the duration of training under this is 9 weeks. After you complete this, you will be a short service commissioned officer in the Indian Army. After this entry, we have an NCC special entry scheme. Just as there is for boys, there is for girls. Now, after that, we have a permanent commission also for ladies in the AMC through AFMC. Now, AFMC is Armed Forces Medical College located in Pune. After your 12th class, you can apply for this entry. And after you apply for this entry, you give the written examination, clear your SSB, and you go to AFMC. After your completion, you are a permanent commissioned officer in the Indian Army under Army Medical Corps. After this, let us come to the exam pattern. In the exam pattern, we are discussing only the exam patterns of the exams which are conducted for Indian Army. So the first one is NDNA examination after your 12th class. And the subjects under this examination are mathematics and general ability. In the mathematics paper is for 300 marks. The time duration is 2.5 hours. And the total number of questions which consists is 120 questions. In the general ability paper, the total marks which are allotted to this section are 600 marks. The time duration is 2.5 hours, and the section is divided into two subsections each. One is English and one is general awareness. The total number of questions which you have are 150 questions, and English has 50 questions of these, and general awareness has 100 questions of these. After this, the marks which are allotted for the English exam are 200 marks, and that for the general awareness paper are 400 marks, totaling to 600 marks. This being said and done, let us come to the CDSE entry. Under the CDSE entry, which is Combined Defense Services Examination, there are two entries, which is IMA and OTA entry. Now, when you fill the CDSE online form, you get a choice. You get a choice between IMA, OTA, or Air Force Academy or Naval Academy. But if you don't have a science background, you cannot opt for AFA or Naval Academy through CDSE. You can go for NDA, or you can directly apply for AFCAT or Naval INA examination. Under that, if you only opt for IMA, you have to give an additional paper of elementary mathematics, which is basically 9th and 10th maths. If not, if you opt for OTA only, then you only have to give 2 papers. This is the main difference between IMA and OTA when you opt for in the online form. So in OTA, you have to give only 2 papers, which is English and general awareness. So the format is something like this. For IMA, you have 300 marks paper in total. The time duration for each paper is 2 hours each. In the English paper, you have a 100 marks paper, 120 questions, and same is there in the general awareness paper, which is also for 100 marks and 120 questions each. So basically, the number of positive marks which you get for one question under English and general awareness paper is 0.8. The number of positive marks which you get for one question under English and general awareness paper is 0.83, and the negative marks which are deducted are 0.27. Whereas in the elementary maths paper, it is a 100 marks paper and there are 100 questions. So 1 mark for one question. Negative is 0.25. That being said and done, for OTA Chennai entry, which is a 200 marks paper, 2 hours are allotted for each examination, and English examination is for 100 marks, 120 questions. Same is for general awareness. This format is same, it is just that the elementary maths paper is extra. Then, after this we have discussed, let us come to the SSB interview. Now, SSB interview is basically a Service Selection Board interview, which is spread across a time span of 5 days, in which they check your 15 OLQs, whether you have it or not, in you for joining the Indian Army, a way of life. That is, the OLQs, for example, are courage, initiative, leadership, determination. So the SSB interview, under the SSB interview, you have 2 stages. Stage 1 is screening, and stage 2 includes your psychological test, GTO test, and a personal interview. That being said and done, after you clear your SSB interview, you get recommended. After you get recommended, the plus mark on your chest, you go for a medical. The medical examination is conducted for a time span of around 1 week to 2 weeks. After you clear your medical, there is a final merit list which comes out. If your name is there, you get a joining letter for the academies, for the respective academies for whichever you have applied. Then you go to the respective academies, you complete your training, then you pass out from there and you become an Indian Army officer in the armed forces. Thank you. Jai Hind.